You sleep for 13 hours and wake up in Amarillo. You want to party with Terry Funk, but he's dead, so you hit the road. Your next stop is 35 miles away, and they may be the 35 most American miles you've ever driven. Vega is Spanish for meadow, which makes sense given the vast prairie and beautiful countryside that have inspired generations. The Vega Motel was constructed in 1947, and business was good until I-70 bypassed the town in the 1970s. Our next stop is only 15 miles down the road and a bit deceiving. Say hello to Adrian, Texas, home of the Matadors and the midpoint of Route 66. Now, although technically you are in the middle of America's Main Street, the wide open desert means there are far more stops behind you than ahead, which is reason number 2. You stop for a piece of pie at the Midpoint Cafe. Reason number 1 is a recommendation from a certain sword swallower in Uranus. The cafe, built in 1928, is the oldest continuously operating cafe between Amarillo and Tucumcari. The cafe's previous owner, Fran, was the basis for Flow, of Flow's V8 cafe in Cars. Not far is the Bent Door Cafe. Officially named the Cozy Cottage Camp when it opened in 1937, this roadside oddity closed its bent door in 1970, another victim of the interstate. Time for state number 6, New Mexico. It's the 5th largest state, but the 36th most populated in the country. New Mexico was the site of the first nuclear test and continues to be the home for Area 51. However, you don't have time for aliens because you have to be back on the road. New Mexico lays claim to the most miles of Route 66, with 535 winding through mesas, rangeland, and our first major stop in the state, Tucumcari. Originally a construction camp named Ragtown in 1901, there were so many gunfights the name changed to 6-Shooter Siding, which is rad as hell. Unfortunately, in 1908, it was renamed once again to Tucumcari. In the novel The Grapes of Wrath, John Steinbeck wrote, 66 is the mother road, the road of flight. Tucumcari and Santa Rosa and into the New Mexican mountains. Today, in a lot of ways, Tucumcari feels like a town left behind, another victim of I-70. However, a few iconic businesses still remain, including the Palomino Motel, opened in 1953, right next to this tribute to a Texaco station. TP Curios, which opened as a Gulf gas station in 1944, before adding the TP to attract customers in 1959. That was the same year Clint Eastwood stayed in town while filming an episode of Rawhide. Another slice of local yesteryear can be found and tasted at Dell's Restaurant, who since 1956 has been serving up New Mexican, Oklahoman, and Tex-Mex cuisine, including fried Indian bread, a heavenly Navajo concoction that can be served savory with meat or sweet with honey. Don't worry, you'll be seeing a lot more of her later. If you Google Route 66 Motel, one of your first results will be the Blue Swallow. It's been continuously operating in this spot for over 80 years and has been homaged in films like Back to the Future 2. As a matter of fact, Tucumcari was the inspiration for Radiator Springs from, say it with me, the movie Cars. And let's not forget about Motel Safari, who's been serving travelers for over 60 years and would be a perfect place to lay your head. But you have to hit the road, where you have the most inspiring roadside pee of your entire life. Look at this. This is gorgeous. It's desert. Look at that. You don't have to drive far for your next destination, Santa Rosa, home to 2,848 people, and the famous Blue Hole, where the water is a constant 62 degrees and restores itself every 6 hours, giving the lake an incredible 100 feet of visibility. Unfortunately, this wonder of nature is closed. However, just up ahead, one place isn't: the Silver Moon Cafe. Opened in 1959 as Eddie McBee's Texaco station, the business grew to include a motel and the cafe. Now, here's the thing. I keep reading about how it's been in a bunch of movies, but I couldn't find one movie it's been in. I got so frustrated that I just put it in Weekend at Bernie's and called it a day. You have a business margarita and hit the old dusty trail, where you accidentally take a wrong turn and are intimidated by a local gang.
Hey, puppers. You're scaring me.
Just barely, you make it out alive to Klein's Curios, a travel center that's been around since 1934, where you speak with an alien and learn that, in the bedroom, you're uncontrollable. You watch the sun set over the desert, arriving at tonight's destination, Albuquerque. There are a million places to go and things to do in Albuquerque, but they'll have to wait till tomorrow. Except for one thing. For 20 years, you've watched Breaking Bad, and numerous scenes have taken place at the doghouse. You get the footlong, and it's so good it makes you feel like you're on Sky Blue. Which is appropriate, because you head to the hotel, ready for tomorrow.
You're goddamn right.